Good afternoon and welcome to the Knit Shift episode 60. My name is Laura and today is Monday, July 11th, 2016. Thank you so much for checking out my podcast today, whether you are a new or returning viewer. I really appreciate that you are choosing to spend a little bit of your day with me, so thank you. Show notes for this episode and all episodes can be found at thenitshift.com. I'm on Instagram as Laura Mahalski. I'm on Ravelry as Yarnstormer, and we do have a group for the podcast over on Ravelry. If you search for The Knit Shift, you will find us. We don't have any knit-alongs going on right now, but I'm hopeful we'll have one pretty soon. This episode is available on iTunes and YouTube, and if you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe on YouTube. That way I know people are watching, and you'll be notified when there are new episodes posted. So hello, welcome. I hope you have had a fantastic week. Since I recorded last on July 4th holiday, so I hope if you're American you had a nice, happy, healthy holiday. I hope it's been a good week. I hope you've had a very good week. I have had a busy week, but it's been full of knitting, and I hope you've had a lot of knitting time too. So in today's episode, we have a finished object to discuss that I'm very excited about, a few works in progress, and I received a Rimmel makeup pack in the mail as part of a subscription box I do, and I decided to give it away to you guys. So I will announce the winner of that later on. So without further ado, let's begin with a finished object. Now, this is an object if I was a betting woman, which I'm not. If I was a betting woman, I would have said there's no way I would have finished this object this week, but something just grabbed a hold of me, and all I wanted to knit on this week was this shawl. And not only is it finished, it is washed and blocked. This is the Eye Blink shawl by Heidi Allender. It's a free pattern. It's very flexible. It's one of those shawls that you can knit as many repeats as you want before you start the lace, and then you can knit as much lace as you want. I love that kind of flexibility. It's a very easy pattern. I highly recommend it if you have not knit from lace before, or I'm sorry, if you have not knit any lace before, this would be a very, very good starting pattern. The pattern is very intuitive here. Let me show you closer. It's a very intuitive lace pattern. It's easy to keep track of where you are, and it's just so pretty. So I highly recommend this pattern, and I could totally see myself making this again. I used Hazel Knits Artisan Sock in the Nymph colorway. I thought I had the leftover ball of yarn here. This was a special edition Hazel Knits yarn cake. It was a big wheel, which was 800 yards of fingering weight yarn. So basically the equivalent of two skeins of sock yarn in one massive cake. And I had about 60 grams left over. That's 60, not 16, 16. So I had quite a bit left over, but you can see this is a very... I wish I could show you the wingspan, but you'll just have to trust me when I say it exceeds my wingspan. And I would guess, I didn't do any measurements, but I would guess it's about 2 feet deep, probably a little more. So I used about 1.5, not quite 1.5 skeins of sock yarn on this. So probably about 550 yards, I would imagine. I did no extra repeats. I did the lace exactly as the pattern calls for. I did no extra repeats. And I use a size 6 needle, which is a 4mm, and I used my Knit Picks interchangeables, which are great. I use them all the time. They're metal. I don't remember the exact name, but they are the nickel-plated interchangeables. But this is not for me. This is a gift for my sister-in-law for Christmas, so this is gonna go get folded up and tucked away until December. She had mentioned to my brother that she liked the shawls that she had seen photos of, so I decided to make her a shawl for Christmas. So I love this purpley gray so much. I think it'll be a really nice neutral. I just think it'll be really nice. And speaking of the length, my sister-in-law is very petite. She's about 5'2", 5'3", so I think this length will be really nice. And I can model it for you guys. I can certainly do that. So you can see that just wrapping it around my neck once, you totally have these massive, whatever you want to call them, the ends of the shawl that can be wrapped around again. Oh, hi Grace, come on over, sure. So it's very cozy and light and airy, and I did block this, which I will talk about more in a second. Okay, now that I have the dog off my lap, you can see it's a lovely, cozy, scarfy shawl thing with it all wrapped up around. So take this off carefully and not hit my lipstick, because I've done that before, like I'm some kind of amateur. So yes, I blocked this. I did not use blocking wires, I just used T-pins, and I pinned out every single point of the shawl, although this guy looks like it could have been pinned out a little bit better. I pinned out every point, and I also did some points along the top, and I will try to remember to insert a photo here of my blocking setup. I do it in my office, which, you know, I shut the door so the dog can't go in there. I lay out a towel and just basically go to town pinning it through to the carpet. And it was dry in less than 36 hours. It was really loose and airy, so it dried pretty quickly. Blocking is really magic for lace, you guys. It takes a little bit of time, but it is so worth it. So that is folded up carefully, and that is it for my finished objects this week. After I filmed, you know, last week, I'll hold this up again. Where I was on the shawl last week, I was right about here in the lace. I knit a couple rows of lace, so I knit all of this lace in a week. And by the end of the shawl, I had about 400 stitches on the needle. It was not tiny, you know, it's a big crescent, and they get a lot of stitches on the needles. So I'm quite pleased with how this turned out, and I'm kind of proud of myself for knitting so much over the past week. So that's it for finished objects, like I said, and I do have a sock in progress to share with you. Last week I shared this first sock with you, knit from a sock blank by Black Market Wool, and I have since cast on the mate. And there you go, that's as far as I've gone in a week, which again I'm quite pleased with. It's lots of pastels and purple. And like I said, this is Black Market Wool, and this is the Rollins sock base, and it is a merino nylon mix, and this is the sock blank. You can see I started pulling it from the wrong end, and this is all I have left of it, but I know it's enough because I measured, and I knew where the halfway point is, and I finished the first sock far before that halfway point. So even with my big feet, I still got a nice long leg out of this and a super stretchy ribbing. So yes, I'm just plugging away on this sock. I hope to have it done in a week or two. I'm knitting these on a size 0, which is a 2mm. This is pretty thin sock yarn. You can see it's a little crinkly from being in the sock blank. I'm using my trusty Chiaogus, which I pretty much knit socks with exclusively, and I am just a couple inches into the foot, and you can see there's yellow and a lot of pale yellow, butter yellow on this side, and then this side it's a lot of pink, so I kind of like how it pooled. So I'm just flying along. This is Black Market Wool does these curse word sock blanks, and there are various phrases with adult terms in them, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been my first sock blank. I have no other sock blanks in my stash, but I know I will be knitting from them again. I have an update on a project that you guys have not seen in quite some time. I'm keeping this in a Della Q high-end fiber bag. It's been months since I've showed this on the podcast, but after I finished my iBlink shawl, I had plans for a new shawl, but I just wasn't ready to cast it on, so I pulled out my pie shawl just to kind of take the edge off shawl knitting. I keep thinking about shawls and what I want to make right now, so I picked up this long-lasting work in progress to make get a little bit more done on it. So this is my pie shawl, and I cannot even pretend to know the last time I featured it on the podcast. And let me pull the needles through a bit. It's very big. Let me hold it this way so you can kind of get a better feel for it. So there's the straight on view. This is an Elizabeth Zimmerman pie shawl pattern from the Knitter's Almanac book. It's concentric circles, and perhaps if I hold it up and far away and kind of open up a little bit, you can see how the lace works with all these concentric circles here. And this is a Madeline Tosh Prairie. It's a single ply, 100% merino lace weight yarn, and it's about, I want to say 900 yards per skein, and I have 3 skeins, so this has a ways to go, both in terms of, I mean, this isn't a shawl yet, and also I have plenty of yarn to get it done. So I'm really enjoying this. I should have 576 stitches on the needles by now, which is with the way pie shawl math works, and I'm keeping track of my progress, which you need to on a pie shawl. So I'm very much enjoying this. It's a nice meditative knit. Oh, and this colorway is called Charcoal, by the way. Let me pull out what's left of the first cake of yarn. You can see it's pretty floppy. In fact, you can see the whole way through to me. So I'm definitely more than halfway in this cake. I don't know how much more, but this is just, I've been working on this for a year and a half maybe. I honestly don't know. You know, the thing with pie shawls is you see a lot of progress right away, and then you get into that nexus where you're just knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting, and you just see nothing. So that's kind of where I am right now, and I'm okay with the fact that this is a project I will pick up and put down at various times. This would be great movie knitting right now, but I have no plans to go see any movies. So, and oh, I'm using again Chiagu needles and a size 2, which is a 2.75 millimeters. So tiny needles, tiny yarn, long project, but the yarn is super soft. It's a little fuzzy because it is a single ply, but I love the colorway so much. You can see all that tonal gray in there. It's just really, really pretty. By the way, I've been eating cherries like a banshee right now, so my fingers are a little bit red despite my efforts to wash them. I eat cherries with my left hand, and you can see my right hand is not quite as pink, so that is why my fingers are red. I just tried, this is random, but I just tried Rainier cherries for the first time, and oh my gosh, are they amazing. They're those blush, yellowy red cherries that you see in the grocery store this time of year, and they are so amazing. They're like dessert. I love them. I'm embarrassed to admit how many bags of cherries my boyfriend and I have been going through, and he got some regular red cherries too, and they're very good too, but I think my heart belongs to the Rainier cherry. So yes, I think that's it for works in progress. I have a couple other things that I might have knit a round or two on, just one thing. It's a sock in progress, but not enough work that is worth showing. And that brings us to future knits. After I finished the eye blink, I was desperate to pick out yarn and cast on a new shawl. So I've picked out my yarn, I've wound it up, and I have my needles and my pattern. So I'm going to be knitting the Sugar Plum Shawl by Mina Phillip, and Mina is of course the host of the Knitting Expat podcast. And this is a garter stitch shawl with eyelet rows, and then there's a lovely lace border. So it calls for there are 3 sizes, upwards of 875 yards of fingering weight. So 2 to 3 skeins of sock yarn is basically what you would need. So I have caked up my yarn, and this is Hedgehog Fibers sock in the colorway Ghost. And you can see that this guy is more pink than this guy. So I'm going to be alternating skeins to ensure that it's not super obvious that they are different. They're the same colorway, but just one is way more white than the other. So this one really shows it. So I've knit with Hedgehog sock before. I knit a pair of socks from Hedgehog about about 5 years ago, before Hedgehog was a huge deal that it is today. And the socks did not wear well, the Hedgehog sock. And I think they've changed their base since then, but the fact remains that Hedgehog sock is a really soft sock yarn, and I think it'll be perfect for a shawl. And this one is definitely for myself. I'm very excited to start that. And you know, while I was in my office / yarn room looking at my stash, I was caught by 2 skeins of yarn that I just think would make a perfect 2-color shawl together. So I have these out and I'm looking at them, and I think this will maybe be my next shawl. And that is Hedgehog Fibers Twist Sock in the colorway Minx. This is a club colorway from June. I just joined their sock club and I love this offering. And this is Ba Yarns in the La Jolla base, which is 100% superwash merino, 400 yards. And this is the colorway Garnet, and it's this lovely tonal purple. And I just think these two together would be so fun. Like if this were the body and this were the edging, oh my gosh. And Twist Sock is, I believe, an 80/20 BFL nylon. Yes, and it's 365 meters, so I think that's about 400 yards. So I'm very excited about the possibility of, see that, like that, just those flecks of pinky purple there. I just think that would make a gorgeous shawl. So I'll keep that in mind. I get distracted easily. You know, it takes me a while to knit a shawl, so I might get distracted by another color combination down the road. But I don't know what I would knit with those two, but I just think I just thought they looked so pretty together that I wanted to share them with you. I have no spinning. I know it's the Tour de Fleece. I know I'm a bad spindler. I should be spinning right now, but I'm not. And finally, this brings us to the Gwynnie Bee, the makeup giveaway. So I belong to Gwynnie Bee, which is basically Netflix, but for clothing for plus sizes. You get X number of items at a time. You go through what they have and put it all in a queue, and then they choose stuff and mail it to you as it becomes available. So every so often they throw in some goodies like Blue Apron meal codes, or in this case they sent some makeup from Rimmel London. So I received 2 packages of the makeup and I decided to share. So this is Rimmel Moisture Renew lipstick in Nude in the City. It's kind of, you can't really make it out, but that's the approximate color. There's a foundation sample, and there is, I believe, a blue eyeliner. Smoke and Shine. Yeah, Blue Steel. So there is an eyeliner, and then there's also a coupon on the back. So I opened up a thread in the Ravelry group and asked people to name their favorite lipstick brand and color. And about 11 people entered, so I put the numbers 2 through 12 in the random.org number generator. And the winner was post number 5, who is Queenly720, who is Marissa. So Marissa, if you send me a message on Ravelry, I will get this to you very soon. And by the way, Marissa's recommendation was the Kat Von D Studded Kiss line, especially the colorway, I think it was Outlaw. So a lot of people recommended Kat Von D, and I think I'm going to have to check them out. So that's actually it for today's episode, you guys. I'm going to stick in a clip I took last night. Josh and I went for a walk on the beach at the Chesapeake Bay, and it was marvelous and beautiful, and I took a little footage to share with you so you could have the beach come to you. Take care and have a fantastic week. Bye!